What connects this to this? Carbon dioxide. That's probably not the answer you were thinking of, but this is the story why. This is Ed, the Chief Carbon Officer at Carbon Removers, and he loves whiskey.
I love whiskey.
But there's something about whiskey that you might not know. Trapped in that barley and wheat is carbon, and turning it into whiskey releases it into the atmosphere as biogenic CO2.
It's part of the natural carbon cycle. When we break into that cycle and capture that CO2, that gives us an opportunity to reduce the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere.
The thing is that CO2 can be very useful in the right hands, and the Carbon Removers are pioneering the process of getting it there.
This is the largest distillery in the north of Scotland. We store here in our warehouses over 1 million barrels. So here we have our washback, and what the yeast has been doing is that it's been making the alcohol. It also makes CO2. Now with the Carbon Remover system, we're able to capture this and lock it into a different use.
The CO2 produced by fermentation has a concentration of 95%. That's compared to 0.04% in the atmosphere, which makes it far easier and cheaper to capture than with large direct air capture installations like this. The Carbon Removers have developed a system that's easy to install and scale, called the Nimmans 900.
What we have here today is capturing 13,000 tonnes per year. We can scale that up to 28,000 tonnes. Now that's the equivalent of removing 6,000 cars from the road, and that's just this site.
Capturing CO2 is just the first step. It then needs to be transported as liquid to where it's needed. There are an increasing number of uses for the gas, from sustainable fuels to chemical manufacturing, and also in building materials, and that's where the roads come in.
So this is CO2 fresh from the Carbon Removers.
Believe it or not, this company, OCO Technologies, takes ash from energy from waste power plants and combines it with CO2 to create building aggregate.
So this is our finished product. This is what we call manufactured limestone. So this is carbon dioxide that's been turned into rock and is stable for centuries, if not millennia.
Now, carbon capture has received criticism for potentially justifying a business as usual approach to fossil fuel use. But for businesses that produce unavoidable biogenic CO2, their waste gas can be another company's treasure.
What we see in the future is a biogenic CO2 supply industry where we have points where CO2 can be used, we have points where CO2 can be removed, and it's a network that's going to operate globally.